Welcome to the Purple Elephant Show. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and I literally just finished recording an episode for my other channel. I was talking about I was talking about the Xbox versus the PS5. So, yeah, feel free to check that out. KIRWKC.com is the podcasting platform for that. If you want to watch the video, then you can find the link within the podcast website. Okay. For those who are looking to follow, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow on Twitter at Real TPES. You can follow on Instagram, The Purple Elephant Show. As I said before in a previous episode, now we're on Parler, The Purple Elephant Show on Parler. And the main podcasting website, thepurpleelephantshow.com. I think I got it. And by the way, I'm enjoying Parler. I've been meaning to submit my stuff to get verified on Parler. I haven't done it yet because I've been caught up in other things. But that's happening very soon. So I need to make it a point. I need to add that to my priority list to do this week, is to submit information to get verified for Parler. As for the title of this episode, I almost considered voting for Kanye West. Let me tell you, for about, let's say, maybe a few hours after Kanye West had said he was running, which honestly, I just think he's testing the waters to run for 2024. That's what I think this is about. But when he was saying he was running, I was considering voting for him. Those who watch my show or listen to the podcast know that I support the president. So that's a given. I support President Trump. That is a given. The reason I was considering voting for Kanye West is because I live in California. We know President Trump is not going to win California at all. That it's just not going to happen. So my thought pattern was, well, what if some Democrats end up voting, or independents vote for Kanye West for the state of California? What if he wins the state of California? That means Joe Biden wouldn't get the state of California. Do you know how much of a blow to Joe Biden that would be if he lost the state of California, the electoral votes? I forgot what it is off the top of my head. I think, 54, something like that. Who freaking knows? 47, something. It's a large amount. There's that wonderful thing called DuckDuckGo. It's a beautiful search engine. Look it up. But when it comes to that being strategic like that, that is why for a while after he had announced, I was like, I could vote for Kanye and then just vote red for everything else. Which more than likely, because I live in Los Angeles, even the people I vote red for, they're more than likely not going to win anyway, because for those who don't know about California, there's this thing here called ballot harvesting, where people can go to everyone's homes and basically say, hey, have you filled out your ballot yet? Oh, you haven't filled out your ballot? Well, you can fill it out right now, and I can go ahead and take that ballot for you. Yeah, really, absolutely. You can fill that ballot out right now, and I can take that ballot for you, and your vote will be counted. That is what we have here in California. Not where people are too lazy to mail off their ballot. I don't get it. It only takes a second to drop the ballot in the mailbox. We need harvesters, like picking crops or something, to go to homes and pick up ballots, because people can't walk to their mailbox and stick the ballot in there. That's what happens here in California. So even for people like me who may vote red, it doesn't really matter. But I vote anyway, just to do my part. So, yeah, if you live outside of California, don't let ballot harvesting come to your state, because if you do, we already know what side that's going to go for. So, yeah. But when it comes to Kanye, Kanye is eccentric. I didn't care for Kanye at first. I remember when him and Kim got married, because I love Kim. Kim is amazing. I always tell people sleep on Kim Kardashian West. I believe she is one of the most intelligent businesswomen I've ever seen. She is amazing. She knows about marketing. She has managed to maintain a constant stay in her lane for over a decade now, almost 2 decades when you think about it. And it never seems like she regresses. It always seems like she moves forward. I'm sure she has her setbacks. Everybody's going to have setbacks. But I respect her business acumen, and I respect her ability to keep moving forward too. So when I found out about the news about her first marrying Kanye, the first thing that came out my mouth was, well, if Kim's happy, I'm happy. Okay, fine, whatever. Wasn't thrilled. As time went on, and I started to see a little bit more of Kanye, and not that I know Kim or Kanye personally. I don't, even though I live like a few miles from them. I will say that Kanye is very, very intelligent, like ridiculously smart. And people sleep on his intelligence just because he's eccentric. Most people who are really smart have certain eccentricities about them that throw other people off sometimes. And Kanye is one of those people. But I see that he's really, really smart. If he ran in 2024, I wouldn't discard it at all. I would not just be like, oh, Kanye's running in 2024. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't write him off, because Kanye, outside of his eccentricities, his genius, within his genius, there are some great attributes within that genius that would make him a great leader as a president. I have to give credit where credit is due. Those who know me know that I'm very honest, very direct. I call it like it is. And there are attributes within his genius that would make him a great leader, even a leader of the United States of America, contrary to what some may believe. But my personal tactical reason for considering at first voting for him is because of my location. Now, if I lived in a purple state like Florida, oh hell no. I wouldn't have even considered it. But because if for people who are in deep blue states, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's like, voting for Kanye might just possibly take the state away from Joe Biden. Because I'll be honest, the enthusiasm for Joe Biden is not there compared to the enthusiasm for President Trump. It's like, I think 14 or 17 points difference. Is something crazy. But even with the polls, I don't pay too much attention to the polls because they're never right, especially when it comes to Trump, which I might need to do an episode about that. And speaking of episodes, this will be the only video episode that I'm doing this weekend. I'm doing another episode today, but it will be a podcast only episode. It'll say PCO in the episode. If you go to thepurpleelephantshow.com, or if you find the show on Spotify or Anchor or Google Play or Apple Podcast or wherever, but thepurpleelephantshow.com will take you to the main podcasting website. You'll see the episodes that have the PCO in the title, which is podcast only. I'm doing this video episode, and then I'm going to do a podcast only episode today, and then that's going to be it for today. But back to this. With the enthusiasm when it comes to Joe Biden, it just isn't there. And there are people who are turned off by Joe Biden and turned off by President Trump for different reasons. It isn't one of those things where, oh, people hate Biden or people hate Trump, because in some cases, it's more of some people hate President Trump, and then some people are just like, when it comes to Joe Biden. In the sense of, it's like, really? Out of all the people in the United States, you picked that guy to be the nominee? Because when he was first running, I said he wasn't going to get the nomination. Clearly, I was wrong. Or maybe half wrong. Because it's not Joe Biden who has the nomination. Joe Biden is just the name holder for whoever is controlling him behind the scenes. Joe Biden doesn't know what's going on. He really doesn't. And I believe that there are some sane Democrats and independents out there that know something isn't right. And also, Joe Biden is being pulled very, very far to the left, too. So that's also playing a role with enthusiasm. So for those people who are in deep blue states, they may see Kanye West and say, well, I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I'm damn sure not voting for Trump. Let me give this Kanye West guy a try. You never know. Which we don't know for sure what Kanye will do going forward with getting on the ballots, because with certain states he can't even get on the ballots. I'm curious to see. As for me, as I thought it over more, the biggest reason that I decided to not vote for him and still continue my vote for President Trump is because I want President Trump to get credit for the African American vote. Because if I would have voted for Kanye and not voted for President Trump, then it wouldn't go towards the African American vote when it comes to the election. Because I'm curious to see how many African Americans or black people voted for President Trump. Candace Owens said she thinks it's going to be close to 20%. Some people are saying maybe 14, 15%. There are polls, and again, take it with a grain of salt, there are polls that say President Trump still has, even before the China Wuhan virus, President Trump still has a 30 to 40% approval rate among African Americans. We won't know until Election Day. And even then, we probably still won't know. Because if the whole mail-in ballot thing happens across a lot of states, we may not know who the president is until 2028. So that's going to be very interesting. I honestly, as I mentioned in one of my previous episodes, get ready for all the clowns to come out over the next few months as it gets closer to election day. There's going to be so much drama. People are just going to start, if they haven't already, start tuning it out. Because I know for me, I've started uninstalling apps. I uninstalled Market Watch because Market Watch kept on sending updates about the China Wuhan virus. First of all, I want to know about what's going on with the stock market. Yes, the virus has certain effects on the stock market, but I don't need to know the counts every single day of this or of that related to the virus. I don't care. Tell me about what's going on with the companies within the world. I uninstalled Market Watch off my phone. I uninstalled Sony News Suite off of my phone. And if the Wall Street Journal doesn't stop with their crazy updates on the China Wuhan virus, I'm going to uninstall that off my phone. So people are getting to the point, I'm sure, where they're ready to tune all of this stuff out. And because they're going to crank it up all the way to the maximum when it gets closer to election day, just be ready. There's no telling what will happen. But I really did consider voting for Kanye West. And if he runs in 2024, I will consider voting for him then. And for those who have a side-eye view about Kanye West, I would ask you to take a closer look, because sometimes we find certain things in the most, I don't want to say awkward places, because awkward can have a negative connotation to it, but in the most unsuspecting places, you'd be surprised where you find hidden treasure sometimes. It's not, treasure isn't always in the obvious place. And when people think about genius, when people think about an ability to make a difference in the world, I know some people may look at some of Kanye's eccentricities and say, well, there's not much there. But I'm an intuitive person, and I can tell you, as time has went on and I've been able to pick up more of his energy, there's something there. There's something there. So if he runs in 2024, at least look under the hood, hear him out, don't write him off as a joke, and just give him a chance to get his ideas out. You might find that you're pleasantly surprised. So I'm throwing that out there. And this has went on for about 20 minutes. I am hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. I'm going to have to get ready to go. Okay. So again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. thepurpleelephantshow.com. For the podcast only episode will go up today. I think I might talk about the polls, or I may talk about something else. I was thinking about talking about the Republican Party in general. I haven't decided yet. It'll be one or the other. It'll be either be about the polls or the Republican Party in general. And it'll say PCO by the episode, so you know that it's podcast only, as well as the other episodes. So thepurpleelephantshow.com will take you to the main podcasting website, or you can go on Spotify, Google Play, yada, 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 yada. The Purple Elephant Show for Parler, which I will make sure to get the account verified. And please follow on Parler, because I want to use more of that. I want that site to get as much traction as possible because it really is an amazing site. I've been playing with it on and off, and there are so many things about Parler that are better than Twitter. So keep that in mind. As for Twitter, the account will still stay active at Real TPES on Twitter, The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram. Again, thank you to those who have been listening to the podcast. As I said on my other show, I seem to have more podcast listeners than I do watchers, and that's fine. I just, the only reason, and I probably mentioned this before, the only reason that I do videos is so people can see my face. Because I have this thing about people being anonymous when they say or tweet something. One of the biggest things for me, especially one of my muses in life is Whitney Houston. She said, show what you look like. That is one of the biggest things for me. If you have something to say or on your mind, you should put your face behind the voice so people know. That's the biggest reason I do these videos. It's not necessarily for YouTube. Quiet as it's kept, I'm not even a huge fan of YouTube or Daily Motion. I don't really deal with that stuff like that. But I do it anyway. As for YouTube and Daily Motion, as I mentioned before, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click the subscribe button, notification bell, and you will know when I upload a video. I think that's all I got. Thank you again for those in other countries listening to the podcast. I love you. I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And for those who have been a constant stay listening to the show, I appreciate you and I love you more than you ever know. Until then, be blessed.